Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and today we are going to talk a little bit about ego, the American ego, more or less. Um, I guess the best way to put it is that Americans don't seem. There's a good portion, not all Americans are this way, but there's a good portion that doesn't seem to understand that the uh, world doesn't revolve around the U.S. And yeah, there's a number of videos I've been watching here recently. They're of TikTok compilations. What's the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you? And it's had me laughing. Um, they basically take people from other countries and they say, okay, and they tell their stories of what's happened and whether that is actual fact that happened to them or they've just made it up for the views. I still have no doubt there's many Americans who would say such things just based on my own interactions with my countrymen. um but yeah, it's disappointing the way some people act, but there's always been a level of belief among Americans that the world is there to serve them. It's there for their it is there for their own amusement. With something called American exceptionalism. If you've ever studied American history, American society, it's something you may have come across. Um, and it basically reads as it's the idea that the U.S. is inherently different from other nations. And that's what I'm saying. It's that the world's there to serve them. They are, superior. It's that kind of idea. Um, it's just been something I've been thinking a lot about. But yeah, America has its own problems. The U.S. has its own problems. But unfortunately, there's still so many people who are like, this is the greatest country in the world. Get out if you don't like it. That is just swallowing propaganda hook, line, sinker, not caring about the actual facts of the matter. America is a really good country. It is a first world country. We are very capable of so much great stuff. However, we have numerous problems. I made a video uh, talking about America being far from perfect. But yeah, there's still so many people who want to look at it as America is the golden nation. And it seems to result in a lot of people not looking around them, not paying attention to other cultures, other nations, other people. Like one of the things you'll often see, this is just an example I use, but I've seen it before. People will throw so much shade at people from Puerto Rico who come to the mainland U.S. They say, go back to your country. Uh, Puerto Rico, where they are from, is a territory of the U.S. So technically, they are American, along with people from Guam, the Northern Marianas Islands, the American Virgin Islands, and American Samoa. Which honestly, we need to turn American Samoa and the Northern Mariana Islands and Guam over to others or give them independence and just grant statehood to Puerto Rico and the American Virgin Islands. I mean, my goodness, we've had Puerto Rico since the American Spanish War, 1898, and there's still people who don't realize that it is a territory of the U.S. I mean, it's been a part of the U.S. longer than Alaska and Hawaii have been U.S. states. They became states, I believe, in 59. It's 49 or 59. I can't remember exactly which, but yeah. Hawaii is another one, too. I would grant. Well, let's not get into that. That's a whole other discussion on its own. But, yeah, my point here is there's an idea of American exceptionalism, an idea that America is better than the rest of the world, and that we are uh, granted this because it is inherent in who we are, just as uh, manifest destiny was the belief that we would stretch from one ocean to the other because it was our right to do so, despite the fact that other people lived on the land. Hmm. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't all ego. There are some people who just make mistakes. I've made mistakes. I do not claim at all to be perfect. Goodness knows I made a provinces of Canada set of videos, and I really butchered the opening part of it where I'm talking about how Canada becomes independent because I'm like, wait a minute, this is not. And so I just kind of flow with it, but Yeah, I butchered that. I'll admit it. But I went ahead and did the other provinces of Canada and its territories. Um, British Columbia, Ontario, um, Alberta. Those are the three most common, but there's many more. I cannot remember them all. Newfoundland, Manitoba. My memory sucks anyway. But just trying to prove a point that it wouldn't hurt Americans to learn a little more about other countries. Despite the 8 or 9 provinces in Canada, and then it's 2 or 3 territories, you know, if you go to Mexico, there's, I think, some 30 some states in Mexico, provinces or states. I can't remember which one they're called for Mexico, but yeah, I just, it embarrasses me sometimes when I see or hear Americans say such stupid things or do such stupid things. But again, we all do make mistakes. I have personally made mistakes. But yeah, just it embarrasses me. But I'll try to get you some links in the description below the video. As always, educate thyself, think, read, study, learn. Someone tries to tell you something, ask them to cite some sources. I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, later.